The time has finally come. Hey guys, it's Vexed, and today I'm gonna give you my thoughts on the second biggest IP in the world, Star Wars. I've been wanting to do this video for a while, and with Disney putting out so much content, I figured it was best to just put it all into one video, get all my thoughts out in one take. We'll see how this goes, but this will be all my thoughts on Star Wars as it stands today. I'm just going to talk about my journey with Star Wars. We'll see how it goes. So let's just start from the beginning. What was my introduction to Star Wars? Well, Star Wars wasn't a very popular IP in my household. In fact, I'm pretty sure that me and my younger brother are the only two that have seen a Star Wars movie. The rest of them, my older brother, my older sisters, my parents, have not. My earliest memory of Star Wars goes back to 1999.
The galaxy's most legendary heroes.
I remember sitting around watching TV and a advertisement for episode 1 came on. I remember seeing a guy with red and black face paint, I thought at the time, and a double-bladed lightsaber, and thinking, oh, that looks cool. And that's it. I didn't really pay it any mind. Again, my family was not into Star Wars, so I never took an interest. Guys, it wasn't until college that I saw my first Star Wars movie. I don't know why. I just decided to watch it. It kind of just happened. I remember watching A New Hope and thinking to myself, oh, this is pretty good. This movie holds up well. It's a timeless wonder filled with good characters and performances that really suck you in. I immediately put on Empire Strikes Back and thought to myself, wow, this is even better. I then put on Return of the Jedi. That's right, I watched these movies back to back to back. Ultimately, when I was done, I said to myself, wow, I get it. This is why people love Star Wars. This is an epic fantasy journey with a galaxy that feels lived in. This is good storytelling, it's fun, it's magical. Bravo, George Lucas. I was really enjoying what I was watching, so I decided to jump into episode 1 the next day. After that movie was complete, I remember thinking to myself, wow, this is very boring. I'm not vibing with this at all. Maybe episode 2 will be better. Well, I put on that movie, and it was even more boring than the first one. It got worse. Third time's the charm, maybe. I put on episode 3, and I fell asleep. I didn't fall asleep because it was more boring than the previous 2. I fell asleep because I made the mistake of watching the 3 movies back to back to back. I actually woke up dead in the middle of the Duel of Mustafar. I then had to rewind the movie and watch it all over again. Ultimately, I thought the movie was fine. Definitely better than the previous 2. The first 2 were dull. So that was my experience with the first 6 movies. I checked the Star Wars box and I was done with that for a while. And then came the marketing for episode 7.
There has been an awakening. Have you felt it?
In my opinion, The Force Awakens has some of the best promo ever. All the teasers were great, well cut. They were masterful in my opinion. They really captured the magic of Star Wars. They struck a chord in me to the point where I was getting hyped with the internet as well. I wanted to get more into Star Wars from those trailers. That's how good they were for me. I got caught up in it and I got excited for the future of Star Wars. At that point, I wanted to absorb as much Star Wars content as possible. And that led me to the animated series Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
I'm sorry, Master, but I'm not coming back.
I binged watched all 6 seasons and fell in love with it. The animated series is really what set me down the path of becoming a fan. That's my Star Wars, as they say. It's a really fun series filled with great characters. And those are the characters that I connect to the most. So when folks say, hey Vexed, what are your favorite characters? For me, I'm gonna say Ahsoka, Asajj Ventress, Anakin, but not this Anakin.
She went into the club, Master.
Patience.
Sorry, Master.
You went in there to hide, not to run.
Yes, Master.
Next time, try not to lose it.
try, Master.
This one.
Anakin, where are you? I'm right here. What are you doing down there?
One thing that needs to be said about Star Wars and Lucasfilm. No other IP that started with live action has as much respect for animation as they do. Their animated series are canon. They expand the universe. They introduce awesome characters. They flesh out different aspects of the world. That's the benefit of television, right? You can actually explore things in depth. For example, what is it like to be a clone trooper working alongside the Jedi? In a movie, you may not have time for that, but you can really dive into it during a TV series. Characters get to go on longer arcs, you're along for the journey, and it's rewarding. So the Clone Wars I really enjoyed. Okay, let's head on over to the sequel trilogy. That's what you guys really want me to talk about, right? The Force Awakens hit theaters and I was there to watch it day one. I really enjoyed this film. It's well acted, it's well directed. I thought J.J. Abrams did a good job. It's fun. The characters are likable. I thought Daisy Ridley did a great job. I think the whole crew did pretty well. Does the movie borrow a lot from A New Hope? Yeah, by design. J.J. Abrams consciously tried to borrow familiar beats from A New Hope so that his movie could hang on to something that he thought and knew, actually, was Star Wars. A lot of people did not like that. For them, the movie was a rehash. But for me, again, I'm not overly attached to the original trilogy. So for me, it was fine. I didn't mind it at all. It's not perfect, but it's really good. Okay, then came Rian Johnson's baby, The Last Jedi. I actually watched this movie in theaters with my little brother. Overall, I'll say that The Last Jedi is fine. Solid. Sorry, no hot take here. Didn't love it, didn't hate it, just thought it was okay. Honestly, coming out of the theater is the best I felt about that movie. Since then, my opinion has come down a bit. The more and more I think about it, the more problems I have. Pretty much everything involving Finn, I wasn't a fan of. It's almost as if Rian Johnson wanted to get Finn out of the way so he could focus on Rey and Kylo and their Force Skyping. Oh, hey, look, we have this male minority character and we need to give him something to do. Oh, I know, I'll create the female minority character, Rose, and they can get together and fuck off to Canto Bight and have this weird forced romantic relationship while I focus on what I really want to focus on, Rey and Kylo.
I saved you. Tell me.
It's really not great. I certainly didn't see that coming for Finn, but I guess that was the point, right? Subvert expectations. Honestly, The Last Jedi doesn't feel like a proper sequel to The Force Awakens because there wasn't a plan for the trilogy. Each director had complete creative control to do whatever the fuck they wanted. So that's what Rian Johnson did. He did whatever he wanted. If I had more of a connection to those characters in the original trilogy, maybe I'll be more pissed off about what he did to Luke. I'm not overly connected to those characters, so I wasn't really bothered. That being said, the notion that Luke would even think about killing Ben Solo in his sleep is beyond comical. This is the same guy who sensed the good in Vader, but he's gonna go kill his sister's nephew in his sleep. Come on, Ryan, come on. I did not engage in the nonsense that came in the aftermath of this film. I just watched from afar. When I've heard that J.J. Abrams was coming back to direct Episode 9, I was a bit worried. I was afraid that J.J. was going to pretend as if The Last Jedi did not happen. Hey guys, guess what? All those answers you thought you got in the last film, ignore it. It doesn't matter. The mystery box is still alive and well. When it was revealed that Palpatine was going to be in Episode 9, I thought, holy shit. The filmmakers are terrified. The backlash from The Last Jedi bothered them so much that they thought they needed to force Palpatine into the trilogy because Everybody loves Palpatine, I guess? Understand this. I don't have a problem with them bringing Palpatine back. I have a problem with it because it wasn't planned from the beginning of the trilogy.
Big shocker in this trailer, of course, the reappearance of Palpatine. Was this sort of in the blueprint from Episode 7?
This has been in the blueprint for a long time. Yeah.
Lie! Have you been keeping Rey's secret from the beginning? Did you know about the parentage of when you found out?
No. At the beginning, there was toying with like an Obi-Wan connection, and then it really went, there were like different versions, and then it really went to that she was no one. And then it came to episode 9, and JJ pitched me the film and was like, oh yeah, Palpatine's granddaddy. And I was like, awesome. And then 2 weeks later, he was like, oh, we're not sure. So it kept changing.
How many millions of dollars are these folks being paid to screw this up? It's beyond embarrassing. You can't just bring Palpatine back all willy-nilly. You need to have a plan. It needs to track. It needs to make sense. If you don't do that, it's going to feel forced. Nothing about the promo for The Rise of Skywalker got me excited. I walked into the theaters just hoping to be entertained. The Rise of Skywalker is an embarrassment of the highest order. I was literally laughing my ass off in the theater. You could see J.J. Abrams' fear on the screen. Every decision so calculated and guarded. Every scene is begging for the audience's approval. It's like he went to the Star Wars Reddit page and pulled the first things he saw, whether it makes sense or not, whether it feels forced or not. J.J. Abrams was determined to answer those questions that he set up in The Force Awakens. The Last Jedi be damned. Rey isn't a nobody. Palpatine is granddaddy.
You are a Palpatine.
The Skywalker legacy isn't over. Rey's a Skywalker now.
Rey Skywalker.
Kylo destroyed his mask. Well, it's back now. Kylo Ren's face turn makes Luke even more of a fool for wanting to kill his nephew. Snoke isn't some random guy. He's important, damn it. Palpatine made him.
I killed Snoke. I'll kill you.
I made Snoke.
This reveal came in like the first few minutes, and I was like, yeah, this is going to be a mess. There are retconning decisions made in The Last Jedi in a way that's just not smart. It's silly. JJ should have just accepted what Rian Johnson did and built his movie on the foundation that Rian Johnson left him. At least the trilogy would have some cohesion. The lack of a plan and a clear direction left the sequel trilogy up to chance, which was a shocking decision by Kathleen and the Suits. Oh, but vexed. The original trilogy didn't have a clear plan. Yeah, but it was all done by the same guy. It all came from the mind of George Lucas. See the difference? The plan for the sequel trilogy was, you do your movie, you do your movie, and you do your movie, and hopefully it all makes sense in the end. That's not smart. It just isn't. The sequel trilogy was a creative disaster. Financially, it was a success. Those movies made a lot of money. Before I forget, I'll say that Rogue One I thought was really good. Really good movie. Solid. Is it better than The Force Awakens? I don't know. I'd have to go rewatch that movie, honestly. If it was just the Star Wars movies, if it just came down to that, I don't think I would be a fan of Star Wars. The Star Wars TV series are more my jam, honestly. Speaking of series, last year, Lucasfilm dropped the 7th and final season of The Clone Wars. And with that came the Siege of Mandalore. The Siege of Mandalore might be the best Star Wars ever. The action sequences are cool and dynamic. It ties into episode 3 in an epic way.
Execute Order 66.
Yes, Lord Sidious.
The themes are there, the emotions are there, and it's Dave Filoni's best work, honestly. It solidifies Ahsoka Tano as the best Star Wars character, in my opinion. It gives you everything you wanted and more. Peak Star Wars. Okay, so if we're putting that aside, let's talk The Mandalorian, which is Jon Favreau's baby. Season 1, I thought was cool. I'm not a big fan of the Mission of the Week / Monster of the Week style. I wanted the show to feel more serial, episode to episode, especially after Jon Favreau said that, he didn't say, he referenced Game of Thrones when talking about Mandalorian. So I figured it would be more serial. So I was kind of disappointed by that. Baby Yoda being cute is not enough to keep me invested. But overall, I thought the season was pretty good. Season 2, I enjoyed much more. It was more serial, and they brought in characters like Bo-Katan and Ahsoka Tano from the Clone Wars, which is pretty awesome that they made that jump from animation to live action. Let me tell you when I knew I was becoming a huge fan of this stuff. It was reported that Ahsoka was going to pop up in chapter 13 of season 2. I remember waiting there, 3 a.m. on the East Coast, waiting with anticipation to see Rosario Dawson's live action Ahsoka. And that's when I realized, wow, you're really invested in this character in particular. It was really something special when I saw her for the first time. I really cared. I was way more excited for Ahsoka popping up than I was Luke at the end. When I saw Luke, I thought to myself, wow, Jon Favreau, you've got some balls. I was happy for Mark Hamill. I know that meant a lot to him.
The Jedi of old are dead.
Not all of them.
We know about Ahsoka Tano.
Who's Ahsoka Tano?
As pretty as you are.
What?
So I then went and binge watched Rebels. And I thought Rebels were really good. We got to learn about Ezra, Sabine, Thrawn, and got some more Ahsoka, which is cool, and with some Vader. So overall, I enjoyed Rebels. I still prefer the Clone Wars for sure. Ahsoka is getting her own show. Ahsoka is the show that I'm really excited for. That's my number one most anticipated within Star Wars. Season 3 of The Mandalorian should be cool. They're going to bring back Bo-Katan and Din. Are they going to Mandalore? Very excited about that. That'll be fun. I'm actually happy that they don't kill me. I'm actually happy that Baby Grogu is kind of out of the picture, so they can actually focus on Din's character with Mandalore. So I'm really interested in that. The Book of Boba Fett, I'm going to watch it. Do I really care? Honestly, no. Again, I'm not overly attached to the original trilogy, so I don't really care that much about those characters. Obi-Wan, I'm excited for. I was happy to see that Deborah Chow will be directing the whole entire thing. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I'm looking forward to that. Don't really care too much about Lando or Andor. The Acolyte sounds cool, but I don't know enough about it. There are future movies that have been greenlit. I know Kevin Feige has a movie coming out. That's down the line. Taika Waititi has a movie coming out. That's down the line. Patty Jenkins was supposed to release one in 2023. It's already being delayed, so who knows when Rogue Squadron is coming out. Sources say that she can't find the time to work on this film. To be fair, she is working on Wonder Woman 3 for Warner Brothers, and she's also working on Cleopatra for Paramount. So maybe she really is busy. I don't know. At first I thought it was kind of fishy, but maybe it's legit. So yeah, there's not really anything to be super excited about on the movie front. TV is really where it's at. Speaking of TV, the last series, The Bad Batch, didn't love it, wasn't too invested in it. Honestly, I think I'll probably just binge watch season 2. I won't watch week to week like I did season 1. I've been talking a lot. What am I missing? Kathleen Kennedy. Her contract was renewed until 2024. The reactions to that have been mixed. My opinion, my feelings on Kathleen Kennedy, the woman was handpicked by George Lucas himself, right? But she's had a lot of gaffes. She's had a lot of weird comments. I remember back in 2019, she said that Star Wars movies were difficult to write because they have no source material. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Star Wars has plenty of source material. Star Wars has comics. They have novels and books. When Disney bought Lucasfilm, they made all that stuff legends and not canon. You can still use those. You can borrow some of those ideas. They're right there for you to use. So I'm confused by why she would say that. She has to know that that's not true, right? But then again, maybe she doesn't, because the following year, she then said that they came to this realization that there's books and games that have stories. And I'm like, how can you not know that? There is no excuse. You are the head of Lucasfilm. It's embarrassing. So yeah, I get why folks want to move on from her, but at the same time, she greenlit the 7th season of The Clone Wars. She greenlit The Mandalorian. She greenlit Rogue One. She's now giving power to folks like Dave Filoni. I believe he's an executive over there now. So she's doing some good stuff. I think Star Wars will be fine. She's listening to the right people now. I think she's getting it. Okay, I've done a lot of talking. Those are my thoughts on Star Wars, guys. Let me know what you think. Let me know what I forgot to talk about. Ask the question in the comments. I'll respond. What do you want to see in Star Wars? For me, I think it would be dope to see a live action Old Republic series. I think it would be really cool. That's what I would like to see. How about you? Okay, I'm gonna go listen to the High Republic audiobook. Take my sweet time with that. But I'll be done with it eventually. Later, guys. Peace. Like and subscribe.